Today, I will try my best to make you understand the basic of heart. Since childhood, we are seeing the diagram of a heart is like this. So, does that mean the heart will look like this? Yes. Yes, the answer is yes. The heart is exactly look like this. And today, we are going to learn the basics of heart on this diagram only. Before learning the basic of diagram, we should understand some basic points of heart. Like, what is heart? Heart is mesodermally derived organ. What is heart? Heart is a mesodermally derived organ. Whenever a sperm meet to a ova, we make an embryo. There is a cell division occur in the cells. Once it becomes the embryo, the embryo divided into three parts. What are the three parts? Ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. So now it is easy for you to understand the heart is made up of the mesoderm part. The human heart is made of the mesoderm part. Means the middle part of the embryo is going to become the heart. Let's focus on the second point. Second point is the size of heart is same as the size of your clenched fist. The size of your clenched fist. The size of your clenched fist is exactly same the size of your heart. I hope I made the second point clear. Now the third point is the heart is covered by double wall, which we call pericardium. What I mean is the heart is like this and there is a double layer wall present around the heart, and this double layer wall we are calling this pericardium. There is a fluid present between the heart and the pericardium wall, and the fluid is called pericardium fluid. Pericardium fluid. Now let's see the diagram of the heart. As I told you, we are going to learn the diagram of the heart on this diagram only. Now, you know from your basics that heart is little tilt toward the left side. Means I am going to draw a diagram of the heart but little tilt toward the left side. This is how the heart looks like. This is how the heart is located in the thoracic cavity. Now, what is thoracic cavity? The next point is the heart. The heart is located between the thoracic cavity. When I am saying the heart is located between the thoracic cavity, what I exactly mean? What is the mean of thoracic cavity? See, it is very important to know the location of the heart. We all know human has two lungs. This is our right lungs. This is our left lung. Now you can see the right lung is properly figured, but the left lung is little bit, it is like a cutout. Why I make a cutout lung? Because our heart is located between the two lungs and it is little tilted toward the left side. The space between the lungs is called the thoracic cavity. The lungs is called thoracic, and the cavity in between the two thoracic is called the thoracic cavity. And our heart is located between the thoracic cavity. Now let's see the diagram of the heart. After knowing the basics of heart, so you know the heart is little tilt toward the left side like this. And you also know from your basics, the base of the heart is much thicker. Why it is thicker, I will going to explain in the next video. We all know that heart is a 4-chambered heart, means the heart has 4 chambers. Always remember the upper 2 chamber is called atria, and it is much smaller than the ventricles. And the lower 2 chambers are bigger than the atria, and we call them ventricles. And whenever we give the side of the chamber, always remember it is opposite than yours. Means if this is your right hand, means this is going to the left side. And if this is your left side, this is going to be your right side. There is a thin wall between the two arteria, and we call this interatrial septum. Similarly, there is a wall between the two ventricles, but it is much thicker than the interarterial septum, and we call this interventricular septum. There is also a wall present between the atria and ventricle, but there is an opening between the atria and ventricle in both sides, and the opening is guarded by the wall. The opening is guarded by the wall, means there is a wall present between the atria and the ventricle. But we have to remember the number of walls present between the atria and ventricle. Like in between the right artery and right ventricle, there is a 3 guarded wall present, and in between the right atria and right ventricle there is only 2 guarded valves present. Now, what is the meaning of wall? Wall present in between the heart, it is like the one-way door. That means the blood, it allows the blood to go further, but it doesn't allow the backward direction. There is something missing in this diagram, and what is this? This is superior vena cava. We are missing the superior vena cava. What is this? This is superior vena cava. Are we missing something else? Yes, the heart is not exactly like this. Heart is a more complex structure. What we are missing now? Missing the aorta and the pulmonary artery. So how the aorta goes on and how the pulmonary artery goes on? Let's see. But we need to rub this. From right ventricles, we are going to draw the pulmonary artery. And from left ventricle, there is aorta coming out. What is this? This is called aorta. And this is pulmonary artery. Now, as we can see, there is an opening guarded by the wall. That means the wall present in pulmonary artery also, and the aorta also. Yes, there is a wall present in aorta also, and pulmonary artery also. But see, can you see the difference? Yes, because the wall present in the aorta and the pulmonary artery are like half moon. That's why we call them semilunar valves. Semilunar valves. And this valves also allow the only one direction movement of the blood. This does not allow the backward movement of the blood. Now let's see the directions of the blood, how the blood flows in the heart. I'm going to make a simple diagram of the heart so that we can easily understand the directions of the blood flow. This is heart and this is the thicker side of the heart. 4-chambered, guarded by valve. This is superior vena cava. The blood first comes in where? What is the name of this chamber? Right atria, right ventricle, left atria, left ventricle, aorta, pulmonary artery. Is it? Now see the direction of blood. The blood first comes in the arteria, and then arteria, when arteria is fully filled with blood, the arteria is fully filled by the blood, it forces the valve, and due to the force the valve gets open and the blood flow in the ventricles. I forget to draw the interventricular wall. We separate the right ventricle and the left ventricle. The blood comes in the ventricle and it starts filling the ventricles. Once the ventricle fully filled by the blood, it forces the pulmonary artery. Means the blood flow first comes in the arteria, then first comes in the right arteria, then goes in the right ventricle, then goes into the pulmonary artery. So the blood coming in the right arteria and the right ventricle is which type of blood? It is deoxygenated blood. It is deoxygenated blood. What do you mean by deoxygenated blood? Means it is rich in CO2. From right ventricle it is going to pulmonary artery, and then from pulmonary artery it goes to the lungs. And we all know what is the function of lungs? It carry oxygen and remove CO2. So which CO2 it is removing? The blood which is carrying only CO2, it going into the lungs and release all the CO2 in the lungs, and the O2 which we are inhaling, it takes the O2 and it becomes the oxygenated blood and comes in the right arteria. So right arteria carrying which type of blood? It is oxygenated blood. Oxygenated blood means it riches in O2. That means the CO2 rich blood has left all the CO2 from the lungs which we exhale and carry all the oxygen which we inhale and take back to the heart in which chamber? Take back to the heart in which chamber? In left arteria. Then again the left arteria is, once the left arteria filled with blood, it forces the valve and the valves get open and the blood flow in the left ventricle. And all the ventricle, once it gets filled up, it forces the semilunar wall of the aorta, and once it's forcing, the walls get open and the blood start flowing in the aorta. And you can see the three opening of the aorta. What does it mean? Once opening takes the blood to the to the right limb, once to the upper side, that means head, and this opening take the blood to the left limbs, and the downward direction of the aorta is going like this and going downwards. So it take the oxygen rich blood to the downward organs and spread all over the body.